The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
So I just want to be Messiah by telling you something I just heard and had a chance to verify every single detail. A number of years ago, there was a younger man in the tri-state area who was seemingly a chad b'doyrei. By that I mean his Havana, his Amkus, his Hasmada, his Kishroinus, his Bekiyas, his Avaida, his Midais. He went to Rabbi Yochanan Vosner to get a faher. Rabbi Yochanan Vosner fahered this younger man, and he saw, like I said, he was Kimat Chad B'Doyrei. In every single possible area, he was beyond exceptional. He said to the younger man, I want to meet your father. The younger man, the father comes, private Rabbi Yochanan Vosner speaking to the father, and he says, can I ask you, was your son always like this? He said, no, he was a wonderful bocher. Wonderful, but no, he wasn't like this. He said, then you got to tell me, what happened? How did he become this Mitzuyim, Kimat Chad B'Doyrei? The father said, I'll tell you. Years ago when he was a bocher in yeshiva, it was a regular weekday, Monday or Thursday, where they had Kriyas HaTorah, 3 Aliyahs and Hagba Galila. My son got called up for Hagba. He got up on this regular weekday, and he did what's called a reverse Hagba. If you're not familiar with that, on Simchas Torah, it makes a lot of sense. Either because the Torah on one side is very heavy, or to fulfill Le'enei Chol Yisrael, but it's very common on Simchas Torah. But to do a reverse Hagba, backwards, on a weekday, on some month, is from the most unexpected, bizarre things. Nobody does that. Nobody does a reverse Hagba other than you don't do that. He did it. And the Bachram started to talk and to tumult and speak about the reverse Hagba. It looked so awkward and bizarre. The Rashiva called him in after davening. And he asked my son, why'd you do it? You're good. Why'd you do reverse Hagba? My son sheepishly looked down and told the Rashiva, Rebbe, I'll tell you why. The Bachar who got Shlishi, the last Aliyah, he had a terrible stutter. And when he finished the last bracha that seemed endless, all the Bachrim were talking and tummuling, and unfortunately it became the center of what they were speaking about. And then I got called up for Hagba. I had seconds to do something that would distract and divert their attention to no longer talk about the person, that stutterer, but to talk about me. So I did a reverse Hagba. And it worked. They forgot to talk about him. I distracted them so they spoke about me. They tumbled about what I did was awkward and bizarre. But I was successful. They didn't talk any longer about him. The father told Rabbi Yochanan Vosner, on that day that my son did what he did, he became Liyos Yisharabim Shichamoi. That person needed him because he saved him. He helped him. On that day he said, Niftechu libini kol sharei shamayim. Every gate in heaven became open for my son on that day. Haravanya, Hasmada, Amelos, Kishroinus, Bekiyas, Davening, Avoida, Midais, Va'oid. On that day the father was made that my son did what he did. Every gate in Shemayim became open for him. And I had a chance to confirm every detail and aspect of that story.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org